think this is a pretty easy button flat here. Sitting like almost 50 big blinds effective with early position.
Cool.
This is just like a warm place. I like this one a lot. It's really
We see a check here. We have backdoor flush, backdoor straight.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll make sure I was like,
I assume that you guys would want to bet here when check two.
Well, you opened on the button, and this is the big. I missed the action. There was some commotion.
We had an early position open.
Yeah, he
Okay.
flatted.
Okay.
We flatted button and almost 50 bigs effective.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then you got to check to you?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would usually put out a small exploitative bet.
You go like 2,800.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I like a bet too.
I wouldn't go after checking.
It's like interesting though, Dibs, because when you're playing on this site on Ignition on Bovada, like there are times versus opponents who will just be like done with the hand, right? Like in spots where they should be betting or putting chips in the pot and whatever, they're just like, nope, I missed, I'm done.
Well, you would have to go bet here then.
Yeah, so my thought process is that we probably just check this back and then bet river if he checks again to us.
Yeah, I like that.
And bet like good rivers like a jack or like a 9 or like obviously a queen or a 10.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like this.
I like it.
I think you like it, Ben?
Yeah. Because you should have done on the flop, and now you're just sizing up because it's the turn. And I still think it's going to work a ton.
Really?
Yeah. You know, queen high. I mean, you're folding. You're
Okay,
going to fold
I have to go. Hold on.
Okay. So go
I
ahead.
don't know.
I just think that you're going to fold out a lot of hands that should call, like ace, jack, stuff like that should call is going to fold. Most of the time, bad opponents are going to fold. Maybe not. If they're going to call, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's because of the site and because of the player pool that I like. That's why I would fire on the flop too. Like, I don't expect a guy.
Go ahead.
If a guy opens from EP and then checks this king 5 flop, he should almost never be check folding.
Mm-hmm.
But they do so much more than they should that you should just put out a stupid little bet.
Yep, that's what I was thinking too.
Same thing on the turn.
I think we made a mistake by checking back flop. But I do like the merits of a bet here on turn once we get check 2 again, because of the fact that people will just have stupid stuff that they're just like, yeah.
Are you going 3 streets then?
Going like, are we betting
If
river
you're betting,
if called here?
No, if you're going bet
turns.
flop, if you're going bet flop, this turn 3 of spades river.
What was your turn example? Sorry. Oh, this turn?
Yeah, this turn 3 of spades river. You're going 3 streets.
So in my example, if we had bet the flop and then we got in this 8 on the turn, I would check.
Interesting.
Because but if we'd gotten anything that helps, let's think a backdoor straight or backdoor flush draw, then I would bet again on the turn.
So like
okay.
The merits of betting this flop are that any jack, any 9, any spade, any ace as well, all give us more equity, including queens and 10s as well.
But you wouldn't bet an ace on the turn.
If it's the ace of spades?
Yeah. Yeah, obviously the ace of spades we would bet.
I think so, but yeah.
A lot of his check call range would be an ace X, so. Or no? Or are you just gonna say he's not c-betting 8s and he's gonna give up turn?
Yeah, I think some of his range, as you said, like a good chunk of his range is the ace. But if we continue on that ace turn, I think it does put a lot of pressure on those other hands as well.
I guess it does put a lot of pressure on like an ace X hand, especially e6 if you give him 2 streets.
When you just bet.
Yeah. So let's say it does come ace of spades and then brick. Are you still firing river?
Yeah. Most of the time.
I think so too.
Yeah. Okay.
And the important thing too is like we block combos like king queen and king 10 here.
And it's mostly because he would be betting his king X on the flop. He's not like a recreational is not like going check call with the king here, raising EP.
Especially by the time if he double checks, we know he doesn't have a good hand, in my opinion.
Right.
And so even though it looks very transparent what we're doing, like
Kyle.
The third club comes out, and we check back.
Yeah, good check.
Showdown value, and he's like, "Nope, flush."
like I'm good here so often. Maybe I should put a thin one out.
I was thinking about it too. I was thinking about it. I was like, "Oh, what if we bet like 5K here? 4K,
yeah, it's tempting, dude.
4K.
I think it works. It's good a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have been mad at like 5,800 or something like that.
I kind of felt weird at the time. I think I probably was like, man, like this is a really weird like play by this guy up to this point. What does he have?
yeah.
Like, and I also there's something to be said. Like, I think if you bet here and you're wrong, he has like chip lead of the table, and if you check, you guys are about even, and you could probably still apply more pressure than he's gonna do.
Yeah, and like, does he really just check call again? Like,
he doesn't have many.
Like a pocket sevens type of hand. Like, I was trying to come up with the combos that he check calls, turn and river with that we're ahead of, and I was kind of not feeling confident in that.
Yeah, he's not like check calling river again with ace queen or something.
Right.
Yeah. Or pocket nines, pocket sevens, pocket sixes. He's not calling those.
Yep. So I felt that best option here was to just check back, take our showdown, and most likely win the hand, right?
Yeah. Most likely. For sure. Yeah, you're feeling pretty happy about that 10.
But surprise, nope, we lose.
No.
Go a couple hands forward, ace and the king. And it looks like, big blind defend. And what to do here? It's a board texture that really hits a big blind short stack defend, doesn't it? And we have no backdoor flush draw. We have the only ace king suited that doesn't have a backdoor flush draw on this board. Are you guys typically still just jamming here for 1-to-1 stack to pot?
Yeah.
Just assuming that you have the best hand still.
Sometimes what I would do is bet like quarter pot and call off, but I'm never like, I'm either jamming or like inducing.
Okay, what about you, Dibs?
Yeah, that's a rough texture, especially. I'd rather check because I think I would check with the intention of just calling a bet on the turn if it came somewhat clean. But
yeah, you taught me to check here. Like I don't know about the stacks.
I feel like you're just giving away
check.
You're giving away big blinds here. I think if you just bet every 10-8-3 versus the big blind.
Well, hold on. We're talking. The only reason I'm doing this is because of the stack to pot ratio. I agree that this is not a great texture.
Yeah.
So if it comes like a 6 on the turn, he just jams. Then what do you do if you checked back flop?
I mean, if he's a wreck, I think you just fold. Like, I think your ace. I mean, ace king suited is obviously a great hand, but like on this texture versus big blind, like You're just giving away money.
I don't think we are if we run these ranges. Of his actually like big blind defend.
You know what I think is interesting here? If it's like a 10-6-3, I think we just get it in. I think 10-8-3 is not though.
It's interesting. We should figure it out because it feels like if we can just get it on the flop versus his actual big blind range, I believe that we have pretty sizable.
You think we're printing chips there?
I do, but I could be wrong, and that's would be great.
So 10 of spades.
Yay, poker stove.
So 10 of spades. Hold on. So I'll actually pull this over to the side.
I'll run this in PO at the same time.
So 10 of spades, 8 of clubs, 3 of
diamonds.
Lappy, where did you open from?
I opened from
low jack.
Yeah, under the gun. Yep. Okay, so cut off high jack, low jack. Yep.
Okay.
So like we would put the board texture out there, and then we're gonna do our opponent's range here. Like
big blind call versus hijack open.
So like they have how many bigs when they defend?
We ended up calling with 10-5 suited, right?
They have like 7 bigs or 8 bigs.
Yeah, 8.
So they defend off of 8 bigs. So like we would discount like almost all of their ace X pretty much, right? Like
hey Lappy, can you take it to the flop for a second so I can see the amount in the pot and all that?
Yeah. 64.80 and 76.97 behind.
60.
So you're running it on PioSolver?
Yeah. And I'll
cool.
I can screen share it with you guys on this thing. So what are we taking out of his range? Like ace. I'm gonna take up aces up through. You want to take all of them, Lap?
I'm taking like all their strong aces. I'm gonna take all their aces out of their range actually.
Even like ace 2 and ace 3 offsuit.
Do you think they just get that in when they're like
let's just keep ace 4 to ace 2 in.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Let's just do that to be fair.
Fair enough. But then we take out all their pairs.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm just trying to get.
You keep in hands like King Jack.
Here, can you? Sorry, I just want to be able to see this, so it's going to be somewhat similar. Can you move it more towards the left-hand side of the screen? The other side, whatever.
What
do you see it at all.
What do you mean?
I can't see what range you.
The poker stove.
Yeah. I want mine to reflect similar to yours.
This is what my range is looking like for them.
You think he would call things like 4-2 suited, 6-2 suited?
I think it's any 2 suited, really.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure it's reflective of like we're doing the same thing. So
yeah.
Okay, hold on. Just make sure this looks the same. I think King. He's defending 10-5 suited. We're not going to put King 6 in there. King 6 off.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, this is mine. Mine looks somewhat similar to yours for the most part. I think we've agreed on all the big stuff. Okay, cool.
Like 45% defend range. Then we have specifically Ace King of Hearts. We'll evaluate. So on this board texture, like we have a slight edge. We have a plus 3% equity differential. Barely 3%. Yeah, it's 3%.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's like it's like pretty neutral. I would think then, but then obviously given the money that's in there,
Yeah, it's pretty easy one.
Probably just
pile.
You just probably have to get it in. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We get called, but like we get called by like all their draws too.
Yeah, exactly.
So like we still have the best hand a lot. When they check it, do you think? Yeah, it's hard to speculate about like what he would lead if he would have a leading range here. I'm just wondering if he leads his like draws, like if he has Jack 9 there here.
So if he lead jams, are we calling?
I'm probably folding.
I can run it, but Pio likes us to jam when check 2, basically our entire range.
Okay.
Yeah,
so if check 2 we jam, but if he jams, what's
okay?
the...
Let me look. If he jams, which he's going to be, it wants him to do that with stuff like it wants him to jam like king. Let's see, Queen Jack off, Queen 8 off. Oh, it's a pair. Hold on. Anyway, let me just put it in. It says to call. Yeah, we're calling with Ace King. 81% of the time, folding 19% of the time. I can screenshot it if you guys want.
Yeah, do that. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up if you put it in chat.
Sure. A couple. This first one is if he jams into us on the flop. Okay.
Okay.
Let me just. Then I'll put up the other one where when he checks to us, this is what it likes.
Okay. So
I just did something. I did 50% pot or 100% pot as the two kind of options. I guess I should have done quarter pot. We can run it again, but it doesn't.
All right. I got this image. So the first one is which one again?
First one is if he jams into us. The second one is if he checks to us. And if you look, you can see that on the root, the little.
The first one is if he checks to us.
The one in green and blue is if he checks to us.
Okay.
No, is if he piles. I'm sorry.
If he piles. Okay. So this is if he piles. Okay.
I'm gonna run it again with a quarter bet. See if that does anything. But
it like almost never wants you to check.
And this is what it wants us to do when it checks to us. It wants us to bet it wants us to shove like 37%, and then why does it want us to bet non all in?
Because that was the sizing. It was a bad sizing choice. This third picture I posted is the more appropriate one.
Okay.
You can look, and it's because of. I think it's because of what I was saying that you can just induce them. Your hand is so strong. All right, did you guys get that third picture?
I'm trying to get it.
Oh, so it wants you to bet not all in with Ace King suited most of the time.
Okay, where is this?
But like almost half. Well, yeah, I mean like almost half the time it wants you to shove.
It wants you to. It's basically like a 2-to-1 that it wants you to bet quarter pot versus shove.
So here's the third image. So, what was the third image again, Stretchy?
The third one you can see on the it's just with the quarter pot sizing as opposed to half pot sizing. Basically I only gave it 3 options, and I don't think half pot is realistic. I just had it already in there.
So it does like going very small. More often than just jamming. And
yeah, and the stronger our hand is, the more it likes betting quarter versus jamming.
Yeah, so Ace King, it wants the quarter pot. What does it want to do versus a shove though? Is it really inducing to like check like bet calling, or
Wait, say that. I'm sorry. Say that again. What does it want us to do against the shove?
Yeah, with with hands like Ace King here. What does it want to do?
That was the first picture I sent you with the greens and blues.
No,
and it wants us to...
I'm saying like, what does it want us to do after it bets quarter pot?
Oh, after we bet quarter pot?
Yeah.
Okay. So we bet, and then when they call or when they jam?
When they check shove over our quarter pot bet.
Okay, give me 1 second.
This is good stuff, guys. This is Pile Solver. Stretchy and I have been like playing around with this program for the last like year plus. And
for me, it's only been like a month that I've really been able to use it well. But thanks to Lappy's pushing me to keep using it.
Yeah, man.
So, okay, I'm putting in where we bet quarter and we get raised all in. What does it want us to do? And I will show you guys. Let me try to keep it on this. 1 second.
Who's shuffling cards?
That's me. That's me.
That's hilarious.
Somebody's fidgety.
Yeah. I do it while I play.
Really? You don't shuffle chips instead?
Too loud. And I always drop them.
How can you do that with one hand shuffling cards? That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there's time in between hands.
I know. I'm just teasing. All right. Here's the one where if you bet quarter pot and then they check jam.
Okay.
This is what it wants you to do. With the ace king specifically, but also with our whole range, we can kind of look at that as well.
All right, here we go. So we bet quarter pot, and then they check shove, and it wants us to call with ace king. It wants us to fold more often though with like ace 7, ace 6, ace 5, ace 4, and ace deuce though. Isn't that interesting?
I don't understand what I'm looking at with this one.
With this one, so you guys on this last picture. So basically, what it's saying is, whenever we have one of the ace king suited that has a suit on the flop, we're definitely calling. Our ace king of hearts specifically, it wants us to fold.
Yeah. So
because we don't have that back door.
Yep. No, you're right. Yep. It wants us to fold. Yep.
It wants us to fold more than not with that particular hand when we quarter pot.
It wants us to fold almost exclusively. And all the other ace king suited combinations, it wants us to call exclusively. So
does that make sense?
You see this, Fallon?
I do.
So the ace king of hearts folding is blue, and it gives you the percentage here. 71% it wants us to bet fold. Compared to all the other ace kings, it wants us to bet call 86%, 84%, 85% of the time.
But do you? What was the question, Fallon? About? Are you looking at something specific that you have a question?
Yeah, I was talking to my kid.
Yeah, I figured.
So yeah, I just didn't understand what the gray means versus what the I see green and blue are call and fold, but why is it gray?
Okay, so the gray. So you see some of these hands that are completely gray.
Mm-hmm.
They just weren't in the range, like they weren't like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The other reason there's parts that are gray is that given earlier decisions, we're doing something like X amount of the time. So the program is assuming that X amount of the time we've gotten like here.
We folded our ace king, or
or we bet like 5K on the
or we picked a different we picked a different part of the decision.
Yep.
We did something different, like because that decision tree has branches, and so that's why there's different amounts. So if you look at aces, we almost always play aces exactly
the way that we played it up until this point.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But ace king on earlier decisions, a portion of our ace king suiteds, we would have done something differently. So we wouldn't have gotten to this point with all of our ace king suiteds. And that's what the gray represents.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, it could be all in, check, or bet quarter pot, right? I think those are the three.
Yep. So here's the earlier one, basically. So
it was like 30.
It checks to us, and then these are our options. To shove all in is 44% of our hands.
You still have you have a thing. No, you have a thing sticking up over the video. Okay, there you go.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize I was fidgeting with stuff. So
he exits it out and says, "What are you talking about?
What are you doing?"
Fallon doesn't know what she's doing.
Get out of here.
Sorry, Fallon. Baby.
Yeah, so now so now everything, like, I don't know.
Okay, so hold on. So Fallon, right now, we've been checked to. Okay, and we have these three options. We have either check, bet quarter pot, or bet all in.
Yep.
So
these three options. Yep.
Now, if Lappy, if you go and highlight the Ace King suiteds, can you bring that?
It's right here. Hold on. I have an earlier image.
Okay, or we can just do the Ace King offs. It's the same thing.
I mean, yeah.
This is fine. So go.
Was there a different image?
Go back. Yeah, can you just bring up back the one you had before?
Okay.
Use it for Ace King off. It'll be fine.
This one?
Nope. Just the one with the quarter pot bet or the all in.
This one?
No.
Sorry, hold on. I have way too many images here.
Lappy's spazzing right now.
Is it this one? Yeah.
Nope.
Wait, no, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
I think you just have to click Ace.
Here it is. Here it is.
Okay, so Fallon, look down at the Ace Kings in Lappy's head, where Lappy's head is.
Yeah.
Do you see how between the three options, like one option is 60% of the time we bet quarter pot?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it up on mine.
Okay, cool.
60% of the time we bet quarter. Yep.
You see that, or bet 7, 6, 9, 7, 33%?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we select one of those options, for instance, when we select the 60% option, the program then takes away a third of those hands because we didn't choose the all in. So that part, those 1/3 of all of our Ace Kings that, would have gone all in. So that's why you're seeing that gray. It's taking those away out of our
range. Yep.
Cool.
On the flop, yeah. The reason the boxes are all full on the flop is because we haven't made a decision yet.
It just knows everything, doesn't it?
It does. That's why this program is so nice.
With this hand, we would bet full.
With this exact combo.
With this exact combo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
And that's what this represents right here.
Which is pretty neat to see like the differences between these four Ace King suiteds and how different they actually are just based on that one. I don't know. That's such a cool thing.
Yeah.
So this is what we're talking about, guys. Is it, for people who can't see it, it wants us to bet call off all three of these Ace King suiteds that have the backdoor flush and backdoor straight, and bet fold the only Ace King suited that doesn't have a backdoor flush draw.
Which then, if you extrapolate that to the Ace King offs, it wants us to basically fold them more often than not.
Yep.
Bet fold them more often than not.
Yep, and we can see that from up here. Oops, why will this not get bigger?
So it sounds like we all fixed something that we were doing.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, exactly.
All the Ace King offs are up here, and it wants us to bet fold them 70% of the time. Pretty much the same frequency as bet folding the Ace King of hearts here.
Now, however, when we look at the Ace King offs in the beginning of the tree, it actually slightly prefers us to just jam them.
To just shove it.
That we're not put in that spot.
Is that this image? No, not this one.
No, you should just delete that one because it's screwing the hell out of you.
You should not have given. Why did you give us the wrong one?
Because I'm an idiot.
Sabotage. It's sabotage.
It's this one. Yeah.
Sabotage.
So yeah, it gives us to shove 33% of the time. It still says to bet.
Actually, no,
it still says to bet
2%.
fold most of the time though.
No.
These are all our off king, ace king off, like frequencies here.
If you go to
the correct image.
It says 44%, right? Up top.
I wonder why that's different.
No, 44% of our total range. It's not. That's not talking about just our ace king offs.
No, but yours looks different than mine. Why is that?
This is the one you sent, man.
Oh, I know. It's interesting. I'm trying to figure it out. What the difference is. What the heck? These are way off. Oh, are we in a different spot? Root check.
Sabotaged himself.
I totally did. What is going on?
All right, ban Stretchy. Ban the Grable.
That's
right.
Oh, maybe. Oh, guys, the reason is because it wasn't finished running, so it'll give you the best results as it then like.
Yep.
As it
keeps working, yeah.
So I'm gonna send you the actual.
Oh boy!
What it actually.
Just one more image to save.
This is the end, but this is what I'm still like learning. I am like, but this is the coolest part is that if you do it too quick, you get boned.
There we go. I'm gonna delete the one. I'm gonna delete the one that doesn't matter.
This is the final countdown. This is the real deal, people.
Fallon.
Oh shit! I just snorted.
You did.
Okay, this one I just sent at 2:39.
It's
the
cute.
finished
It's cute.
Results.
It's obvious I'm a nerd. Okay. Let's see. Ooh.
All right, so this is image 5 now.
Yeah. And you can see that it actually prefers shoving ace king off. And it definitely prefers shoving all the ace kings.
Okay.
When check 2.
Here we go. All right. So it prefers shoving not all the ace kings. It says it's like 46% shove and then 29% bet fold, 30% bet fold, and then 28% check back. Right? Because when you look up here, it gives you those percentages: 46% shove, 30% bet call.
Now these percentages, are they just like opponent opponent based, like
it's
like
actually
when you should do these actual like
it's actually GTO. It's not considering exploitating it's not considering any exploitative reads that we might have on our opponents. It's giving us optimal frequencies based on a set of premises, right? That our opponents are playing their frequencies in a certain way. And so if our opponents are playing optimally, then this is the optimal way to combat that.
Okay.
So the way I like to think about it is at the beginning when Lappy and I were entering ranges in, what PO does is it considers like the range that we entered for one person and how it interacts against the range of the other person. And then that is how it decides like what to do, but based on like what hands you have. Yeah, because like in this example, our opponent can never have strong hands like aces, kings, ace, queen, things like that, because they would have shoved pre-flop.
Exactly.
So then it considers like how does that interact on this kind of a flop? How can we like basically put our range to best use?
Right. This was the range we gave them, Fallon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. Uh-huh.
That's just how I think about it.
So based upon having this understanding of our opponents, that they'll have these hands in this spot, Pio figures out what our optimal strategy is given this board texture and that range that we inputted.
Okay.
It's important to understand that, again, like Lappy just said, it gives us a baseline, and then, like you said, it doesn't consider how to exploit opponents. So we will take this baseline, and then we can adjust it and say, like, oh, our opponent is more loose than optimal, so we can change our calling frequency.
Right, and if we think, like...
Or they're more tight, or whatever.
And if we think, and if we have certain reads on our opponent, that they will just always lead a pair here, and when they don't have a pair, then that also changes how we play this as well. So, like, everything changes when you take this, like, all of this as a baseline, and then adjust it, like Stretchy was saying, to curtail versus our specific opponents.
Is Dib still there? Dibs, are you there?
Yeah.
Were you the one who asked, like, what it wants us to do if our opponent just jams into us?
Yeah. And it said to call, right?
Well, now that it's finished, it actually, with Ace King of Hearts, it only wants us to call 60% and fold 40%.
Oh, so it's not that big of a mistake if you're folding.
Right, it's pretty close. And with the other Ace Kings, it's 95% call.
Yep. So it wants again, it stays pretty consistent. It wants us to call with get in our backdoor Ace Kings. Yep. So Ace King of Spades, Ace King of Clubs, Ace King of Diamonds, and fold the exact hand that we have here.
Cool. All right. That was a lot of info for a for an 8 big blind.
So that's where we are. I bet very, very small. I'm the computer, you know, because I know what the computer wants. And he check calls.
All right, cool.
And he leads turn, and we just get the we get the hell out of dodge.
He's a PO.
We get the hell out of dodge.
After you played it like a robot, impressive,
right?
And it was a 6, like I said.
Yep. You're the computer. We're half of the computer.
Show me that flop again, man. Show me that flop. What you did on the flop.
All right, guys. I gotta go. It was fun.
That was fun.
All right, Abe. Are you grinding today, man, or what's?
Yeah, I'll be on a little bit later. Around like 3:30.
All right, dude.
I'll be back on.
Thanks for joining us,
run some errands. Yeah. All right.
We appreciate you, fam.
I'll see you soon.
Catch you soon.
Take care, Dibs.
Peace.
All right. Peace.
All right, so we actually don't really even have that many more hands. We can kind of plug through this, guys.
Lappy, show me that. Show me your flop bet again. You sicko. All right, awesome.
It was like less than quarter pot, actually.
It was like basically. I mean, we could run that too and see. But anyway, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Fold. We raise it up.
Yeah, Fallon, you can really like tinker around it. You can like go down the rabbit hole with this stupid thing.
I like it.
It's fun. It's fun.
Pile is a good resource. I feel like versus later position. I would tend to put this more in a defend range than versus like earlier position. What do you think? What do you think, Stretchy? Do you agree with me?
I think we would defend this a lot.
Right. Yeah, especially versus Button, who should have a pretty wide range here.
Yeah, and I think
my defend range would be like something like
I'll put it in for you. Big blind.
Something like just like really wide.
So, yeah, here I'll screenshot.
I'd probably be defending. I'd probably defend all my kings, and like even down to like something like this.
This is what the master sheet wants you to defend. I just posted it for you.
Yeah, this is going to be a very wide range of hands.
It's actually folding out 10-6 off though.
It's folding out big blind versus button.
This is big blind versus cutoff. Sorry.
Okay.
That's pretty close.
But then if we curtail it to playing against recreationals who we're gonna be able to like outplay post, I think you just add in.
You would call.
Yeah, we would definitely call here. So I don't like our fold.
Yeah, I agree.
And the cool thing is, Fallon, that
Uh-huh.
this is like the same strategy you would implement.
Uh-huh.
And like it might be really hard for you. Like you'd be like, oh, 10-6 off is such a weak hand. Like how do I show profit with that? You might not show profit with it pre or post immediately. But the cool thing is that when you get in a spot like this and you defend, and you play the hand out and you maybe lose the hand or you make a mistake and lose a big pot, like it's gonna be a good thing in the long run because it will just be another situation that you're able to learn from. Every hand that you play and every situation that you get in that's new and unique is only for your benefit in terms of learning.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now of a Jack 4 off hand that I had today where I defended and I flopped 2 pair and got it in, with the guy, and he had kings, and of course the river paired the board, and so then I'm out,
Boo, boo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And
so yeah, nice. Got it in?
Yeah, I got it in with the guy.
You got it in and you lost, or?
Yeah, I got it in and lost because he hit the board paired, and so he had kings.
Oh yeah.
And so but I had his ass on the turn. I was like, yeah, I was so happy. And then of course the river paired the board.
Right. And so yeah, even if you didn't win the hand, or even if you didn't like get it in ahead, or any of that, just all these situations that kind of like force you to play a lot of hands and to play a lot of post flop can only be good for people like yourself and like others in this community who are learning the game and trying to become profitable winning poker players.
Yeah, it's made me like so much better just to play a wider range of hands. Like it's really cool.
I mean, shit, man, I've been doing this as a pro for 12 years, and I'm still learning this kind of stuff too, like defending these hands and how to best play them after the flop. Like, we're all just trying to get better and like increase our edge every day.
And the cool thing is that a lot of information regarding like GTO, regarding like game theory, regarding like all of that, it has just come out in recent years, in the last like decade. So like we're actually really the first generation that has access to all of this, and and it's that's pretty awesome, isn't it?
That's amazing. I'm gonna assume Stretchy's on mute or something. Like,
I don't know.
Or he just hates us and doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, he hates us.
No, but yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's really awesome, and I'm happy to be a part of the ever-changing poker.
Right, like, and your opponents that you go and play in like a live casino, who might have played for 20, 30 years, like who may be like long-time grinders, like you're just gonna have like a huge edge over them already because of all the studying and all the materials and resources that you put time into.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're gonna know you're gonna know the spots better than they're gonna know it.
Hey guys, I have to go in about 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Okay. We can speed through these hands. We didn't defend there, but I think we should be as we were talking about.
I'm not sure if we really can speed through these hands. That's just not our group's style.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. We're trying to learn.
Just folding here.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I'd probably open if it didn't have action prior.
Shoot?
What's going on?
Oh, I just said, oh shoot, I accidentally folded under the gun.
Oh.
I mean, it was just 9 deuce suited, but still, I like to raise that there.
You're silly.
No, what?
I do it.
Suited under the gun?
I don't give a fuck. I will raise. I will raise 9 deuce, 8 deuce.
Lappy, you taught that one?
No. I mean, depending on if you're super deep.
Yeah, I am super deep, and it's a hyper, and if I can get it through, I just do it.
Y'all are beast mode.
People assume that you're raising monsters and stuff there, and so when the flop comes out and it favors my range, I can just take it down with 9 deuce. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I have.
This is
okay.
Street poker here.
She's taking it to the streets, man.
I have no doubt, dude.
Oh my goodness.
The flop comes 9 deuce, and I stack the guy with jacks.
Look at this situation. We got sevens to fold here. Okay, you guys can't even see. Okay, so let's actually go to previous action.
But yeah, let's review one of these hand histories next time, Fallon. I want to see this. I want to see this shit in action.
So we open 6-5 suited here, sevens flats. We see bet and they fold.
Yeah. Wow.
It's pretty interesting.
That's nitty as shit.
Yeah, it's a bit nitty. But if I'm in that spot and I have sevens on my stack size against somebody I know is very capable, it's like, what are you gonna do? They're just gonna punish you. Like if they have it, you're gonna lose. If they don't have it, you're gonna lose. You're like, what would you do, Lappy? Just like check call sevens and then call sevens?
I would rip it pre.
Oh, there you go.
Why not?
No.
And if he didn't, I always know the answer. And it's call 1.
At least
call
1.
At minimum,
calling one
call
here is
1.
dangerous. Yeah. It's a good player, but
I know
it's dangerous versus a good player. And so like, but with Fallon, you're not playing against players like myself very often. So that's why it is called 1 always. At minimum. With any pair, like any gut shot, like as long as you're not like super short.
And we have a club in our hand, so yeah.
That helps.
That helps a little bit.
Yeah, no, it does.
It gives you equity. Yeah. It gives you equity. Yeah.
That's a great point, actually.
Right. So yeah, I would definitely at least call 1 here, and then just see turns and rivers. Like like potentially you get favorable runouts.
But more importantly, we pointed it out. The giant flaw in this hand is that he didn't just shove free.
Exactly.
He has 22 bigs with sevens against blah blah blah. But that's the big mistake. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It is the big mistake. Okay. Oh. So you can see it under the gun shove. So this is another place, Fallon. What did we talk about in this kind of situation where you think you have the person beat that is all in ahead of you, but you might not want to get it in with you. But you might not want to get it in with everybody behind you.
Excuse me.
You can call and then you can fold to. You can call. Let's see how much is that bet? I can't barely see it.
It's 10,300.
Okay, and you have 92K, and then everybody else has
27K, 32K, 20K, 50K.
So you can call and then fold to however many other ones you want to fold to. Like you fold to the 32K and the 49K, and you could probably just call the other ones, the other two, because it's only going to be 10K more for both of those. So definitely fold to the dealer and fold to the small blind, but call everyone else.
I like it.
Love it.
What do you think?
Love it.
Love it. Yeah, I think I think this woman wrapped it up.
Yep, that about wraps up that analysis.
Maybe in the next 3 months or so, I can become a decent reg.
Right? hey, but Fallon, oh my God, we lost. Why would you tell me?
Fallon,
why would you tell me?
You were wrong.
No. I can't become decent. I can't become decent. I have to become an okay reg.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, maybe in the next few months I can become an okay reg.
So
it's okay for me. The next step above bad reg is break even reg. That's the next one.
Oh,
maybe okay. Maybe okay means the same as break even.
Do you think this is an okay reg here, flatting in the cutoff with 4-2 suited?
Yeah, I mean probably just a monster player who can manipulate you.
Oh, never mind. If they're gonna flat, why would you ever flat this if you're not gonna make a move on a board texture like this? Like,
dude, because they're just trying to play fit or fold with their hands.
Like you're just not flopping well enough with this hand. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
As humorous as this is, we all know.
Well, because when I flat when I flat 8 deuce or whatever there, which I do sometimes. You guys can laugh at me if you want, but I only do it because I'm versus an opponent I know I can outplay, and then when I see a board like this, then I'm freaking check raising, not check raising, but raising their c-bet,
You have to think. All right, fine. I don't want to even get into this shit. This is terrible. What is this? I mean, maybe if you had 100 bigs, but
you're like super deep, like 150 bigs, like probably.
I'm just telling you how bad regs think, okay? That's all I know.
Like I'm giving you, giving you diamonds here.
So yeah, I think this is just the lulz, man.
It is lulz.
Of course.
And that's why the c-bet strategy too that we employ of going really, really small on almost any texture, it is just printing money because A, people have very wide ranges. B, it's very hard to make pairs and to make real hands. And then C, people overfold. Even if they do have a piece, they overfold, like you saw on that previous board texture, ace 4 deuce. The guy had sevens with the club. He just check folds to quarter pot bet. Doesn't even think about it.
Yep.
That's why our strategies that we've come up with just really work and print money for you and help you manufacture chips in spots where somebody might check here and because someone might check here and then this guy probably bets when you check to him, right? And we just end up losing the hand. Because what are we gonna do? Check call, with the gut, with just like a pure gutter, and overcard. I don't think so.
You check to fold. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Sorry, unfortunately, my time is up. This is awesome. I love getting these study sessions, and we should do it more.
Yeah, we should, and we can actually save the rest for the next session.
Perfect.
Because the final table and all of that is just really interesting, and there's a lot of really big spots. I know watching one of the previous videos, Fallon was she was looking forward to seeing when we folded trips or something.
Okay. It was you had 9-6 in your hand, and I can't remember what the board was, but you had top pair. You had 9-6, and the guy shoves, and you tanked, and then you folded, and everybody in chat was freaking out. They were freaking out that you had the best hand, and then why did you fold that? And you explained why you folded it, which was that you burnt yourself on the stove too many times in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think you bet, and then you bet big, and then he shoved. I'm pretty sure, but I might be wrong about that.
Okay.
But
still, excited to see the final table and get a chance to talk about some ICM spots.
Chat was going crazy about why would you ever fold that hand,
right?
And I just want to see if you made a correct fold, or if it might be a correct fold either way, like in pile solver, but I just want to see if in that one situation if you were right.
Absolutely. We'll have that to look forward to in the next part, guys. So